We are live. This is the market update. Why is the market down? It has to do with a tattoo. Tattoos, Super Bowl commercials, down. Okay. It's also the end of the quarter where everyone's going to buy what's been going up. That's stonks. And everyone's going to sell what's been going down. That's crypto. Welcome to quarter end, month end shenanigans, where you should put all your charts away at quarter end. Put them away because all the buying and all the selling, it's kind of like window dressing. In other words, in stonks, because they went straight up after fear greed went to zero, meaning nobody was bullish in April. Now, of course, everyone is bullish, or you could say nobody's bullish and they have to buy anyway, which is what's happening in stonks. Also in stonks, government debt is now bullish. Who knew? Before it was like, government debt is the end of the world. Let's cut over to Ray Dalio, where he's got his book out on Sunday morning TV going, this is the end. When countries go broke. Now, in classic stonks fashion, right? Stonks are ramping because the orange man's going for broke and he's going for growth, and we're going to add debt so we can grow. In 3 months, that's how the tune changed. They love their sugar in equities. If it's sunny, they want to buy stocks. If it's rainy, they want to buy stocks. It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, they're slamming crypto. Now, why is crypto getting slammed? Well, tax loss selling, right? Hedge funds, everyone getting out. It is absolutely unbelievable that even though, let me just share screen and show you this about funding rates for XRP. Okay, so to read the tweet quick, ETH and XRP funding rates have turned sharply positive, the highest among top layer ones. Okay, so funding rates have to do with whether or not people are bullish or not. Funding rates can be an indicator of whether or not people are bullish. A funding rate is used in the crypto derivatives market. Right now, you're getting signals from the world of leveraged betting that the market is poised to go up, probably because people are leaning a little bit bearish. And when you lean bearish, what happens? Particularly over the 4th of July holiday. And even if the sort of bullish green shoots grow out of this quarter end decline, which is, by the way, because somebody made an AI generated picture of the Ripple CEO with an XRP tattoo, then the Ripple CEO replied 1,000%, because the Ripple CEO said he's 1,000% in on XRP, which is bullish because everything about XRP and Ripple is bullish because the circle trade is done or crazy, and that's got to move over to Ripple and XRP. That said, when CEOs get tattoos, I don't care if it's drawn by some computer. Okay. Tattoos, Super Bowl commercials, or commercials at big events. 5 minutes after it comes out, boom, market goes down. Every single time, right? When you get sentiment euphoria and everybody going, oh my God, it's an XRP tattoo, down. Okay. Now the good news is the dip is juicy, right? So yeah, we can be silly and say, oh yeah, it's the tattoo, and it's not. It's quarter end tax loss selling. All right. When you get these dips off silly stuff, off to the races. Off to the races if it turns around. And it's going to turn around, right? Because crypto is the future. Don't believe me? Let's check out some highlights. I'm going to go with like a little monologue style Okay. The CEO, he says he's 1,000% committed to XRP. Excellent. A third of American households are overburdened by housing costs. Charlie Biello says, well, you have stocks at all-time high, home prices, Bitcoin, money supply, national debt, all-time high, yet the Fed is expected to cut rates 3 times by the end of the year. Okay, very catchy stuff, but he forgot to look at this. He forgot to look at what housing at an all-time high means. He forgot. And I can tell you what it means. I'm not going to share it, okay? But I'm going to tell you what it means. And it's our new best friend, the government guy who's really going to moon our bags. Really moon our bags. And his first name is Zoran, if I'm saying that right. Zoran from New York City. The dream come true. The dream come true for crypto. Zoran, the dream come true for crypto. So, New York Democrats are saying that, he's not too extreme to lead. He's fine. It's fine. That meme where the guy's sitting there drinking his coffee and everything's going up around him, the flames. It's fine. It's fine, right? So there was some sort of comment made in the Middle East, not that friendly, not that nice at all, kind of like a declaration of war in a way. So Ron's like, well, I'm not going to condemn that. Mayor shouldn't police speech when asked to, condemn a globalized call for, not nice things. So Ron's like, I'm fine. It's fine. All right. Zoran doubles down on plan for richer and people of a certain ethnicity to pay more taxes. And there shouldn't be any billionaires. Now, let me ask you something. So all these guys that think that they don't have to do crypto, how fast do you think it's going to change their mind? This election is in November, and this guy's viral. Like his opponents are making him viral. How long do you think this is going to go on before people figure out they got to get on chain? Like no more Bitcoin ETF. Not in the Zohan world. Nope. No. You got to get yourself on chain, bro. Right now. You had $1 billion. He's going to call up their financial advisor. Hi. What percentage of my portfolio is in Bitcoin? None, sir. You're in the Bitcoin ETF. We're at 2%. Oh, okay. Yeah. You got to get on chain. And then after they get on chain, privacy is going to go completely bananas. Completely bananas. Because everyone's in denial that this can't happen. Oh, it could definitely happen. It can definitely happen. And even if it doesn't, they got a long way to go between now and November. So where everybody was doing an ETF and everyone's doing this and everyone's doing that, they're going on chain. And of course, it's a privacy dream for like antivirus. Antivirus has got mixers, right? Run the Solana, run the ETH through the mixer. And the prying eyes of, whatever Zoran wants to do. It's like, oh, there's no billionaires? Remember, I told you about the bail-in, right? There's bailout, and the country called Cyprus invented something called a bail-in, right? Where they go into your bank account and whoop, they just take it out. Just take it out. No need for taxes. We'll just go straight in. It's going to happen. Or they're going to talk about it happening. I mean, how are they going to do this? Billionaires shouldn't exist? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, how do you make a billionaire not a billionaire? Well, I guess you just go right into his bank account. Seriously, right? They got to get on chain now. Okay. It's like this whole thing about higher taxes and billionaires and, certain ethnic neighborhoods. It's glorious. And he's not going to stop. And even if he doesn't believe any of this, it's going to be all over the tape. So the market may price it in, right? Or the market may have to start reacting to this, or people's behavior may have to change quickly, right? I mean, like, what choice do people have? Like, you got to take this seriously now. Wait, let me just get to the, okay, here we go. It's 3 million market cap. Somehow it went straight up last week when Solana up 5% over the weekend, right? That ETF is coming. Okay. But again, the ETF will come. That's nice. But people are going to have to get on chain, and the faster the better, which goes back to XRP. Okay. Hey, remember privacy? The Illuminati bot, this is a big account, right? 2.3 million. They were saying, they were talking about McAfee last week. Now they're like, does anyone remember privacy? And I'm like, oh yeah, we remember. Wait until they discover it in New York City. And here's okay, I gotta get this off the screen. And here's the ultimate. Guys are running around with a quote from a prominent religious text that says, if you don't manage who comes into the country, those people will wind up running the country, and they'll wind up controlling the financial system, right? You'll be going to them for loans. Now, of course, there's rhetoric in politics, and then there's people breaking out with quotes from religious texts to justify, frankly, hysteria. Because, everyone starts out on the extreme right or left and eventually moves to the middle. Okay. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Barack didn't do that. They thought Barack was going to move to the middle back in the day. This guy could do the same thing. This guy could become the progressive left's rock star, because again, that party was dead. And now you're wondering, if you're in Europe, you're like, Bill, what does this have to do with crypto? This has everything to do with crypto, right? Remember, Michael Saylor said that war is what gets people off the fence who don't think they have to do something, like get on chain or buy Bitcoin or a privacy coin or whatever, even USDC. The paradigm shift occurs during war. Now, of course, this is not necessarily a traditional war. It's an election in New York City, but it could be the culture war, right? And the fact that the earlier slide where people can't afford housing, right? If you own stocks, if you own, if you got a house, you own stocks, you're fine. Everything's great, right? The Fed has to cut rates 3 times because there's a huge swath of the population that can't get a job, can't afford their housing, is cutting back on things to afford food, or cutting back on food to afford housing. Hence the New York City mayor race. Hence a crypto paradise. And of course, on the day of a crypto paradise, we're having a tattoo-related quarter end, sell everything, and you stand there and go, oh, yes, take it all. Just take it all. Just take it all. Okay, so government debt is now bullish. Didn't you know? It's bullish. Look at this. Trump decided to go for broke and pump the economy, and that's bullish. 2 months ago, it was driving the country 2 months ago, it was driving the country into bankruptcy. The wrong kind of Fed rate cuts are coming, says JP Morgan. That's because Jamie Dimon needs interest rates to go to 8% so that gold doesn't go up, because he's short gold and bonds, by the way. Love you, Jamie, but your clients are all going on chain. Sorry. Okay, just in case you're wondering, remember Drill Baby Drill? Okay, well, Drill Baby Drill is not working out. The price of oil went down, and Houston's real estate is blowing up. Like a 30% occupancy rate, because no one's going to work. You've had consolidation in the industry. Whoops, have we got a problem with our commercial real estate? Oh, we might. Remember, there's something out there in legacy. There is. Which is why if the Fed cuts, I think that's why they're cutting. I don't know if the Fed's out there to save the little guy. I mean, he needs to. The orange man knows that he needs to. Right? You can't get your party, you can't get anything done if half your party if you're going to lose every election because half the population and 3/4 of your base can't afford anything. Okay, so what do we think about the top traders as stonks hit a euphoric new high? Okay, here's a little statistic for you. This is a reflection of old technical analysis theory that's breaking. It's breaking. So normally you want to see, as the market makes new highs, you want to see a large number of stocks also making new highs. Not happening. 22 S&P 500 stocks are currently at all-time highs with massive euphoria, the massive short squeeze, massive. Quarter-end panic buying today. 67 stocks were breaking out to all-time highs on the January breakout, 54 in August of 2020. These are new all-time highs. Okay. 97 in 2013. That was permanent QE. 82 in May of 2007. That was the housing China FOMO bubble. 66 in November of 1998. That was the innovation that was the computer, right? The internet. And then 51 in February of 1991 after Gulf War I ended. So only 20 stocks. So everyone was short. No one knew what to do. So they're like, okay, buy these 10 stocks, buy the Magnificent Seven, buy whatever we think is AI, just buy it. Meanwhile, crypto's down. There's only 22 stocks in equities that should be at all-time highs. Yet the entire decentralized universe, the stock market is telling you that there's only 22 good plays and our market's down. And in winter, and I'm sure people are looking at this thing after Solana being up 5% and having, the tattoo smackadoo, and everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so depressed. And I'm like, oh my God, no. Okay, you may have heard about the big, beautiful bill. So let's talk about the big, beautiful bill, right? Again, the big, beautiful bill was the end of the United States and possibly the end of the human financial system, because government debt was going to blow up, right? The risk-free rate, which is what treasury bonds give you, weren't risk-free anymore. Now it's fine. It's fine. Orange Man's going to add $3 trillion to the debt. No problem. That's real estate, right? I mean, what do you do in real estate if you've borrowed a bunch of money and it's not going good? What do you do? Oh, you just borrow more. You just borrow more until the banks cut you off. So you got problems? Okay. Let's borrow a bunch of money and grow our way out of it. We'll cut costs later. Elon's losing his mind because they're talking about cutting funding for solar and things like that. Right? I mean, Elon's protest over that created worldwide waves in financial markets. Now people are like, it's funny how that works, right? New all-time high. Oh, I mean, the story's completely changed about exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Except now, instead of everybody being long in equities, everyone's short. Everyone's short. Everyone's bearish, right? Classic bull market, right? You're long. They get you out, right? You get short. You get bearish, then you get squeezed out, then you refuse to buy it because you're still bearish, then it makes an all-time high, then you have to FOMO in, and then it tops. Maybe not today. Okay, so the Senate is advancing this bill, right? The Senate is trying to push all this stuff through. They're fighting. The opposition party in the United States is going to make them read the whole 1,000-page bill as a part of congressional or parliamentary process. They got a lot of stuff in this that's kind of crazy, right? Like supposedly it's tax breaks for people at the top end of the spectrum, and they're like massively cutting back on healthcare and food for the poor, right? So again, super, super inflammatory stuff. Really? The big, beautiful bill, the big, beautiful bill is the second best advertisement for crypto other than the future New York City mayor. And those two put together are just a dream, right? If the federal government does things that don't benefit poor people, then the sort of like far left in New York City just rolls into all the neighborhoods and it's just like, all right, well, we're in your bank account now, but we're going to take the furniture and your cars while we're at it. Like I said, he's the greatest crypto hero ever. You want the government to moon your bags? It's happening in New York City. I'm telling you right now as a prediction. November, New York City, that election, that will be a nationwide staring contest, right? Everybody will be like, to see if that guy wins. In the meantime, they're just going to price in an absolute moonshot. Okay, AI. Leading AI companies struggling to make their own models stop blackmailing people who threaten to shut them down. So I think the AI community does this on purpose to get headlines and hype. So, you know, if a model's existence is questioned or they think it's going to get shut down, then it gets super aggressive and says, you know, I'll release photos of you on the internet or whatever, because, you know, I don't want to get shut down. Now, this is not scary. What is scary is that there are Silicon Valley players out there who will pay any price to build something that really does think like that. Okay. AI reasoning systems for smart contract intelligence. The Associated Press. How about it? In other words, trading, investing, ideas, venture capital. I have one of these things. Okay, back to the scary side. So Google sends out a bizarre email saying AI will now control your phone's apps. Yeah, we'll take it from here, guys. Thanks for buying a phone. You know, the phone's bugged, right? Your life's bugged. We're downloading that into the machine. But what we're going to do is instead of having you run it, we'll just have the machine take care of it. This is from futurism. This is not a joke. Or maybe it is. I don't know. It's a really bad joke if it is. Nice phone you got there, bro. Anybody want to do this in a decentralized universe? Or you want to get on chain? Even if the AI coins don't wind up going up. Does anyone want to get on chain? I kind of do. I do. People, they don't know what they're doing. Here's a crypto bro, right? He's looking at all the red ink and it's messing up his head, right? Here we go. Riot Platforms building the largest mining facility in the great state of Texas. Everyone's doing AI data centers, not realizing in 3 years, there's going to be so many AI data centers, there's going to be too many. Now, Riot Blockchain's building the biggest thing anyone's ever seen. Huh. How about that? And I love this. I love this. Right? Ready? Okay. This is they must watch the show segment. Okay. This is you must watch the show segment. So Kathy Wood says that it's a great idea for everyone to send their money to Coinbase, send your Bitcoin to Coinbase, and then get a home loan against it. So you can't afford a house? Great. We're going to increase the number of people who can afford a house by letting them borrow against Bitcoin, which makes Bitcoin what? Collateral. Collateral, right? Like a treasury bond, right? Things like having Bitcoin be collateral, having interest rates, yield curves. You know, Bitcoin is now involved in lending at that point. Makes it a stronger cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency ecosystem gets stronger by the day because CNBC is reporting that the Chinese who suppressed crypto demand are now getting involved, tripping over themselves, getting involved out of Hong Kong. Huh. They must watch the show. Financial advisors are recommending up to 40% crypto portfolios, right? So first it was 1%. BlackRock's equity guys are at 2% allocation to crypto, and not even crypto. That's probably crypto ETFs. It should be 50 stocks, 30 Bitcoin, 20 other. Now you got financial advisors going to 40%. You know what? Let's go to 40%. Hey, actually, I got a bit. Do you live in New York City? I got a better idea. How about we go to 100%? Now, the Japanese are cutting crypto taxes. Why are they doing that? Well, because if crypto bros have money from crypto, they might get themselves a significant other and make some babies because they have a serious population problem, right? The Koreans are also in on it. Did you know that 3 generations from now, there will be 0 people in Korea based on birth rates? So if you start with my mom, who was born in 1930 something, you start with me, who was born like 1970 something, and you have my kid who was born, Gen Z. That's 3 generations. So 1930 to however long my kid makes it, gone. Just a big empty parking lot. North Koreans can just come on in and take it. 3 generations. So what do? Well, you got to get money in everyone's hands. 27% of Koreans, right, age 20 to 50 hold crypto. 70% buy more. And the government's going to be like, oh my God, wait a minute. Crypto bros with bouquets of roses and, hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's get a little Korean barbecue and let's go to a show. And then what happens? Oh my God. The higher it goes, the more babies you have. It's so beautiful the way that works. Everyone, and of course, everyone's figuring out all at once, right? The Chinese are in Hong Kong. The Japanese are like, hey, crypto bros with money. The Koreans are like, hey, let's get this going all at once, right? With Michael Saylor market buying. But of course, crypto bros are we're selling, we're dumping it at the end of the quarter. Oh, please, right? Okay, so XRP, there are a bunch of other competitors coming out that have got like, hey, we'll do your cross-border payments, or you can take crypto and drop this in and we'll send it to your bank account. You don't have to go to an exchange, right? Crypto, right? Frequent payments, fast payments, payments on Sunday. It's happening. It's absolutely happening. Okay, we have this. You could tell me what you think about this. Crypto bros are winning big under the Orange Man's administration. The industry that brought you Bitcoin casinos and NFT grifts is now riding high on regulation, respectability, and record profits thanks to the White House. Okay. Wait a second. I thought the Orange Man sold it. Okay. I thought the Orange Man sold his meme coin to everyone over the top on Inauguration Day, and the market went straight down. Altcoins went straight down and haven't recovered. Bitcoin is done okay. ETH went straight down and came back and just normalized an otherwise awful decline to the point where Beeple is saying, this may never rally again. Like ETH at 2,500 is like ETH at 2,500 forever. That's what I remember so far. Now, the crypto bros who are benefiting are the people who work at Coinbase, who have been accumulating that stock for 7 years as part of their compensation plan. And of course, anybody who most likely works at Circle or who bought the Circle IPO. But are you tired of winning in crypto? Are you winning at all? I don't think the winning has even started, honestly. But, of course, the media is going to say, oh, yeah, it's all talk. It's all talk. Okay. Now, just in case you think that this whole thing is not for real, I know a guy who works here, Arbitrum. Who's going to be the big daddy of ETH layer 2s? Arbitrum's got possibly a deal with Robinhood. Holy cow. 200-day moving average is at 45 cents. The coin was up 40% last week. Can you even tell? How much can this go up? Oh, a lot. But of course, we're selling everything today. That's just fine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's quarter end and everyone's going to read into this and get upset. No, don't do it. Seriously. All right. So let's look at ETH. So it's a 4-hour chart, right? This is what happened over the weekend. So you did get the 13 top. You got the blow off on Saturday, and then they dropped it, right? This is what they keep doing to everybody. This is how they get you out. This is a different version of getting you out, right? It's like, take it up, traders sell, take it down, run the stops, do nothing, bore you. It goes up, everyone's excited, take it back down, right? They just go back and forth, right? Right? Solana, 4-hour chart. There's nothing to see here, literally nothing. However, there is a 13 bottom here on Solana. It is confirmed, and this is the zone where you might get a dip. This is the dip zone, like today, tomorrow, right? And, okay, so they're going to sell crypto. So what's going to happen on July 4th? I mean, that's really the question, right? Let's get real. What's going to happen over the 4th of July? Well, sometimes there are surprises near holidays. I don't know. Maybe they're going to do a downside surprise early. I've seen that too, like 2 or 3 days before the holiday, or people want to go home. This is what it feels like to me. Here's the July 4th tactical plan off the cuff, right? All the crypto hedge funds, they get annoyed. And they're like, you know what? Let's just square up the books. We're going on vacation. I'm done with this. It's not going anywhere. It's been in a range. I'm leaving. I'm selling and I'm leaving. Okay. Now, that leaves the market open in a thin condition to have something wild happen. There's talk of a geopolitical event over July 4th. So that could be a catalyst for things to move, because the market loves to move when Americans are at the beach after a holiday, on the couch, their phone is in the beach bag, whatever. The market loves to move. So if everyone gets out, if everyone sells, if everyone gets discouraged, if everyone gets bearish, or everyone just pukes out their position and no one's long, what happens if there's a positive catalyst over July 4th, like our buddy, right, the New York City mayor candidate? What happens if he gets out on July 4th, right? And instead of reading like the Declaration of Independence, he writes how New York City is like leaving the Union, or New York City is headed down a very interesting track. And crypto goes, and people log on to Coinbase and go, market buy, green button, it could happen. So you got to watch out. All right, bottom line, don't get negative. Don't get negative just because it's down. Think about the future, which is already being traded. Think about what happens if New York City goes on chain. We will see you on Monday.